Today we're announcing a first of its kind AC V2G virtual power plant. And so what that means is we're utilizing AC-based vehicle to everything technology. So it utilizes an inverter that's already on the vehicle as opposed to an inverter that's on the wall. And so this results in a lower cost of entry for a customer. So an AC-based system might be anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, whereas a DC system somewhere between $10K and $15K. So a huge cost savings for the customer and allows much more accessibility. On top of this, we've announced participation of Tesla in our V2X pilot program. So we're actually going to be able to offer customers with Cybertrucks a $4,500 rebate for their charging hardware. So you can get this charging hardware totally paid for. And then on top of that, you can earn up to $600 in revenue every year through our emergency load reduction program and other virtual power plant programs that we offer at PG&E.
This very intelligent, high-power battery technology. There's a lot more than 1 million homes that are, thinking about their bills on a day-to-day basis. 100% of homes in California and across the country have power outlets. So really, it's incumbent on us to think about how do we use the infrastructure that we already have, whether it's with technologies like SPAN to utilize the poles and wires and the grid better, or as we think about it, give people solutions that can move them quickly to this end state. Because I see a world where every new home is built with this technology, but we also need to move quickly with our existing building stock.
Every SPAN panel we've shipped so far has an islanding device built into it, and that was with this sort of forward-looking vision that more customers will have some form of energy storage device in the home, be it a stationary battery or a much larger capacity battery in the vehicle, right? Vehicle adoption, I think, is a little bit behind adoption of energy storage for backup, obviously. We are already today in a collaborative conversation for what's called the Universal MID, Microgrid Interconnect Device Standard. That's an islanding standard, if you will, together with many of the folks over here.
The standards and interoperability are key, and actually that's exactly what drove us to be leveraging the Open Charge Point protocol. We're talking chargers, and that is the path we're going down. We'll be releasing capability for the charger manufacturers to be able to self-certify against that. We'll make sure we stay on top of that standard protocol. I think back to what Chris said about interoperability, we think about half of PG&E customers have 100 amp panels. So at the time, 100 amp panel was kind of the gold standard, maybe back in the 70s or 80s, and much of our grid has that, particularly in cities where customers are getting electric vehicles or maybe getting air conditioning or a heat pump. And so those customers immediately can benefit from the solution. In terms of solutions like what Cole demonstrated with the home battery, you'll be able to order that on Amazon.com or on their website, and it'll show up in the mail, and you'll be able to just plug that in, right? So that's something that's accessible to anyone.
How does it all play together?
That's a great question. So I think there are some slightly competing technologies here, where it's like a couple of people hawking their wares. But I would say the Cybertruck to me feels kind of like a separate item because it's vehicle-centric, and it's designed to allow the customer to have backup capability / grid support capability, whereas a lot of these products are designed for how can you electrify your home without having to upgrade your panel or upgrade your service constraints or whatever. So
the next point is how do we lower that cost? When at the entry point for a whole home battery system is $10,000 to $20,000, of course you can finance it. But that's a lot to ask for a certain set of homeowners or businesses. Lowering that cost by modularizing it, reducing the soft cost with a plug-in kind of approach is one way. And what we're really excited about is working with PG&E and other folks in the utility space to create these programs where customers can get the product for even lower by plugging into virtual power plants and some of these smart demand response and aggregation type programs. It's win-win. And I think we're finally moving really quickly to that end state that we all want to see.
So what we have from Tesla here is PowerShare. We have our universal wall connector, which is going to charge your vehicle, and it's going to allow your vehicle to power your home. And then we have Tesla Gateway, This is our islanding device that allows us to separate from the utility. So in an outage, this will open, allows us to not backfeed to the grid, reducing risk injury to linemen or people working on the lines. And the way it works here is this will monitor your home's power. It'll work in conjunction with the grid when it's on grid, and it will open when it's off grid. The wall connector then communicates with the gateway and says, hey, there's an outage here. Let's start feeding it from the vehicle. And then that's where the Tesla Cybertruck takes over and starts backfeeding the home. Currently, Tesla Cybertruck is the only vehicle in the fleet that does this, but our future state end goal is going to be every vehicle in the fleet, hopefully every manufacturer of EV vehicles can backfeed your home in the same aspect. If you want to take a look at the screen inside, you can see that the vehicle is actually backfeeding the home now, and we're essentially in an outage situation.